Good Wednesday evening, August 7th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A Moses Lake fugitive wanted since November on a charge of murder has been found in California. The Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority will hold a groundbreaking ceremony next week for the $7.7 million remodel of a new terminal building at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. Another sunny, warm weather day on tap again tomorrow with thunderstorms in the forecast on Friday and Saturday. Your local forecast is coming up. The primary election period ended last night, sending some familiar faces on to the November ballot. Retiring State Senator Brad Hawkins captured the lion's share of votes in the race to become Chelan County's newest commissioner. The Republican legislator earned a whopping 2,700 votes out of 4,300 cast in Chelan County's 3rd district, placing him solidly on the November ballot. He's likely to face Wenatchee property developer Flint Hartwig, also a Republican, to hold the seat being left by Commissioner Tiffany Gehring. In Douglas County, Rock Island Mayor Randy Agnew held a more modest lead in the race for District 2 County Commissioner. With 327 votes out of more than 1,200 cast, Agnew's nearest competitor is Waterville Bank executive Katie L. Schaefer at 282 votes. Both ran as Republicans. The balance could shift when Douglas County conducts its next ballot drop on Friday. In state legislative races, longtime 12th District Representative Keith Gaynor holds the edge to become its new state senator. Gaynor, a Republican from Dryden, pulled more than 54% over Democratic candidate Jim Mayhew of Snoqualmie. Former Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett also appears headed to the November ballot for 12th District State Representative, earning 40% in a three-way race where Democrat Heather Colin of North Bend holds the lead. In the huge 7th District, which now includes all of Douglas County plus a portion of Wenatchee, Republican congressional staffer Andrew Engel of Colville heads to the general election race for state rep with the lead over Tonasket City Council member Tegan Levine. In the 2nd state representative slot, Hunter Abel, another Colville Republican, will face Democrat Paul Rocky Dean of Springdale. Meanwhile, in a crowded field of congressional candidates, Trump loyalist Jared Sessler pulled ahead of incumbent 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse, garnering nearly 30% of the 70,000 votes counted so far. Newhouse was famously among 10 Republicans who voted for President Donald Trump's impeachment after the January 6th riot at the Capitol. Incumbent Democrat Kim Schreier of the 8th District had an easier go of it, holding 51% of the vote in a 4-way primary. Republican Carmen Goers of Auburn will be on the ballot to try and take the seat coming up in November. Wenatchee Valley voters agreed wholeheartedly to a change in the way they pay for fire protection. They gave 66% approval to a new fire benefit charge, which takes the emphasis away from property taxes and instead charges property owners based on the square footage of their structures. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett says the charge amounts to a fairer distribution of service costs and would ensure the fire department has adequate funding into the future. The measure needed a 60% supermajority to pass. 70% of Chelan County voters said yes to the change, alongside 63% in Douglas County. A Moses Lake fugitive wanted since November on a charge of murder has been found in California. The U.S. Marshals Service says 18-year-old Christopher Valet Maciel was arrested Tuesday in Riverside, 9 months after the November 12th shooting death of 22-year-old Armando Benavidez Jr. of Moses Lake. 3 other people were wounded in that shooting, which police attributed to Maciel. He was first charged in Grant County with first-degree murder, first-degree assault, and drive-by shooting, but evaded capture in the hours after the crime. Authorities believe the incident was gang-related. Moses Lake police say they're in the process of extraditing Maciel from California to stand trial. About 500 customers along Squilchuck Road lost any incoming mail, and firefighters had to squelch a small brush fire when a U.S. Post Office truck broke down Tuesday near Squilchuck State Park. The truck stalled and caught fire about 11:30 a.m. and sparked the grass and brush along the roadside. The fire was contained within 20 minutes, but the truck and any mail it was carrying was a total loss. U.S. Postal Service spokesperson Kim Frum said another carrier picked up the outgoing mail along the route, and normal service resumed today. Customers who might have lost mail can expect a notice from the U.S. Postal Service. The cause of the fire is under investigation. When we come back, construction will temporarily close the Upper Pearl Hill Bridge near Bridgeport beginning later this month. And the North Central Washington Library's 2023 annual report shows an increase in library engagement within the district's 5-county area. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Are you tired of getting less for your money? At Abby's, our founders placed over 100 slices of pepperoni on a giant pizza, and 60 years later, they haven't changed a thing. Order real value at abbys.com. Right now, fresh and juicy tomatoes are in season. That's why Abby's is celebrating summer with a special pizza covered edge to edge with beef and Canadian bacon. And if you want it covered with fresh tomatoes, they'll do that too. Enjoy Abby's August special pizza at a very special price.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Welcome to the newest and funnest fashion boutique on Wooden, featuring mountain chic clothing and men's footwear from UGG, Brixton, Sorel, and Free People. Walk on into the Tiffany Blue Building on the second block of Wooden and check it out.
It is nearly impossible to describe what you'll find in Lush Life. It's an eclectic collection of items from around the world. See it for yourself at the corner of Wooden and Emerson.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
How do you think like an entrepreneur?
I have had it in mind starting my own business. This is all really good to know right now.
I am currently making a vision board. I am talking about my well-being, my personal finances, and habits that I would like to work on and to improve myself to be a better entrepreneur.
Construction will temporarily close the Upper Pearl Hill Bridge beginning later this month. The bridge sustained significant damage after the Pearl Hill fire in 2020, and weight restrictions have been in place ever since. The $3 million replacement project will include wider lanes and shoulders for enhanced safety and capacity, and is funded by a grant from the Washington State Department of Transportation Local Bridge Program. Other parts of the project include the demolition of the existing bridge, installation of prefabricated bridge sections, and reconstruction of bridge approaches, guardrails, and signage. The closure begins on Monday, August 19th, and is estimated to continue into mid-November. The Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority will hold a groundbreaking ceremony next week for the $7.7 million remodel of the General Aviation Terminal building at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. The event will feature remarks from port representatives, local government officials, and key stakeholders. The port will also pay special tribute to Senator Maria Cantwell for her dedicated efforts on the project, and recognize Representatives Dan Newhouse and Kim Schreier for their support. The event will be Monday at 10:30 a.m. at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. The terminal remodel is scheduled to be completed by early spring of 2025. The North Central Washington Library's 2023 annual report shows an increase in library engagement within the district's 5-county area. Last year, community members checked out 22% more digital materials from NCW libraries and borrowed 28% more items through the mail order library than in 2022. Over 815,000 physical materials and 519,000 digital materials were borrowed from library locations. In 2023, NCW libraries began offering more in-person programs, which resulted in a 50% increase in program attendees. Program impacts include embedding library services at a local food bank and partnering with the Wenatchee School District on a program for migrant parents. Coming up next, students in a free Mexican folkloric dance series through the Peshastin Library are getting ready for their final performance. More on that in tonight's feature story. Expect warm temperatures and possible thunderstorms by the end of the week and into the weekend, with cooler weather on tap next week. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from your very own pool and spa. Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for this summer. Call today to schedule a free consultation for a custom San Juan fiberglass pool. And let the experts at Blue Lagoon handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your boring backyard into vacation paradise this summer with industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect, no matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Continental Surf Cup at Lakeside Surf. Oh my gosh.
Students in a free Mexican folkloric dance series through the Peshastin Library are getting ready for their final performance. The classes are taught in Spanish and aim to connect the students with their culture. The final performance will take place on Saturday, August 17th at Peshastin Dryden Elementary School, where the group has been rehearsing on Tuesdays and Thursdays since late June. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE News met with dance instructor Zandy Zarate and Peshastin librarian Claire Morrison, who helped interpret for Sandy during the interview to learn more about the program.
Para mí es muy importante promover la cultura y el arte a través de la danza de nuestro México.
So for me, it's really important to promote Mexican art and culture through dance.
Y la biblioteca ha abierto una serie de programas apoyando a la cultura latina.
And the library's opened a series of programs supporting a Latino culture.
Y fue que se abrió la oportunidad de dar una serie de clases de danza enfocadas al folclore mexicano.
And so we had the opportunity to do this series of classes focused on Mexican folklore dance.
Y justo hicimos esta elección porque no contamos con trajes tradicionales y queríamos respetar la esencia de cada baile.
So we chose these two dances because we don't have
Dresses.
a set of costumes. We don't have dresses. So we wanted to choose types of dances that we could do using like the outfits that the kids could kind of get from what they have already and make it not too complicated.
Justo por eso decidimos danza de ferrocarrileros, que hace referencia al trabajo de la ferrovía o de los ferroviarios.
So for that reason, one of the dances we chose, it's the Danza de los Ferrocarrileros, and it's a railroad dance, so it's representing like the lifestyle of the railroad workers and what it's like to work on the railroad.
Que tiene una gran importancia en la historia de nuestro México porque tuvo su gran alcance en la época de la Revolución.
And that's actually really important to Mexican history because it was a big part of the Mexican Revolution. That was the time when the railroad was really expanding.
Y que es algo muy notable porque los hombres que trabajan en los ferrocarriles usualmente utilizan overoles, playeras de algodón cómodas y los pañuelos para secarse el sudor o cubrirse de los aromas.
So the men that were working on the railroads, they'd be wearing like overalls and then a t-shirt and then a bandana to dry the sweat from working so hard on the railroad.
Y en el caso del otro baile que decidimos poner, hace referencia al estilo norteño de nuestro México, como los cowboys aquí en Estados Unidos, que es pantalones vaqueros, camisa a cuadros, botas y sombrero.
So the other dance that we chose, it's from the northern region of Mexico, the Norteño region, and so it's kind of like a cowboy style. So they'll be wearing like cowboy boots and jeans and a checkered shirt and a cowboy hat.
Yo creo que la experiencia ha sido tanto para ellos como para mí. Yo aprendo de ellos bastantísimo, estoy reforzando el inglés con ellos y ellos aprenden tecnicismos o palabras que usualmente no escuchan y reforzan un buen español a través de la danza.
So I think it's been a two-way street. So I've been learning from them, learning more English from the students, and then they also learn like more technical words or words related to the dance. So it's both really the students and Sandy are learning.
Siendo una mujer mexicana, estoy muy agradecida porque podemos compartir a otras personas nuestra cultura.
So as a Mexican woman, I'm really happy and excited because we're able to share our culture.
Con niños que tienen ascendencia o origen latino,
With kids that have like Latino heritage.
pero por alguna razón o circunstancias tuvimos que emigrar a este maravilloso país.
But for whatever circumstance had to immigrate to this wonderful country.
Y que una institución pública nos abra las puertas y nos permita mostrar esta cultura a través de la danza es un regalo enorme para mí como mexicana.
And that an institution is willing to open the door so that we can have a dance program like this is just a lot of pride and honor and makes me really happy.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great midweek Wednesday, and it was a nice one out there today. Still a little bit on the hot side, though. Temperatures above normal again, and we did see some of that haze. This is our Union Hill Sky-Fi Tower camera from this afternoon, looking out our weather window, and you can see moderate air quality for almost all of us in our viewing area in North Central Washington today. Chelan's number at about 52 this afternoon, and you can actually smell a little bit of that haze and smoke out there today. And as far as the temperatures go, as we make our way into the upcoming weekend, still going to remain pretty warm. 93 tomorrow, 91s Friday into Saturday, and then 90 for Sunday. But look what happens as we get into the first part of next week. Our temperatures are actually going to drop a little bit below normal, and we could even be talking about temperatures in the mid-80s for the first part of next week. Thunderstorms in our forecast too. We'll get to that in a second. But 94 unofficial high today. Another warm one. 89 is where we should be for this time of year. And our record high, it was set in 1972, 103 degrees. 66 this morning, pretty much in line with our normal low temperature of 63. Our record low, 52, and that was set in 2002. Sunrise this morning, 5:48, and it sets tonight at 8:25. Temperatures as we get you into Thursday, going to be a lot like today. Low 90s for almost all of us. 93 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 92 Wenatchee, Entiat, and up in Chelan, 90 for Leavenworth, and 91 the high temperature tomorrow in Kashmir. Taking a look at our surface loop for tonight, widespread haze will continue tonight. It will be another mild one with lows near 70 degrees. Still that anchoring area of high pressure out in the Pacific and bringing some warm weather our way, and it's going to continue into Thursday. Mostly sunny, maybe some high clouds in the afternoon. We'll stay on the warm side with highs tomorrow again in those low 90s. And then this is where thunderstorms come into play a little bit. There's a deep, deep trough to our east, and that will drag some clouds through. Also an area of low pressure in British Columbia. And this will be our situation on Friday afternoon. About a 20% chance that we could see some thunderstorms. Highs again on Friday, still hot enough to support that into the low 90s. On Saturday, partly cloudy. There it is again. 20% chance of thunderstorms. We'll see highs kicking off our weekend right around that 90-degree mark. And then by the end of the weekend on Sunday, most of the shower activity will move off to the east. Just sunny and warm. It should be a nice Sunday with high temperatures again near about 90 degrees. For the first part of next week, this is where we begin our slow cool down, but not so much as we get to Monday. Mostly sunny, a little bit cooler on Monday, maybe even some breezy breezy conditions in the afternoon for Monday. High temperatures will cool back into those upper 80s for Monday. By Tuesday, and even cooler. We're going to see plenty of sunshine, but it will be cooler for most of us with high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. And you can see why this northwesterly flow over the top of that ridge of high pressure is going to bring those cooler temperatures. We're talking 70s and even some 60s into parts of western Washington. All right, your 7-day forecast: 69 overnight tonight, 92 tomorrow, and then we'll keep our eye on the sky these Friday and Saturday. A 20% chance of thunderstorms each day. High temperatures generally around 90, and we'll stay that way on Sunday too. Sunny and warm and 91. Mostly sunny for Monday and Tuesday, with high temperatures cooling back into the mid and upper 80s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
A happy Wednesday to you. The Mariners struck out 14 times in a 4-1 loss to Detroit last night. Tigers struck for 3 runs off Seattle starter Luis Castillo by finding several holes in the Mariners' defense. Meanwhile, Detroit rookie pitcher Kiter Montero kept Seattle hitters off balance for 6 innings.
Raley sends this deep out to center field, and this ball is gone. Luke Raley checks in with a 5th inning homer and puts the Mariners on the board.
Montero getting that break ball over for a strike. Riley was sitting on it, straight away center field.
I see a Mariner response right there for Luke, his 2nd home run on this homestand. He is now 3 for 11, 2 home runs and 6 RBI.
Soft served into right field for a base hit. Baez makes the turn into 3rd. Meanwhile, Vierling hunts for 2nd. Here's the tag by Dylan Moore, and he's cut down at 2nd base. Kind of jams him. Polanco from short right field on a skip, and in time.
After the hit by pitch. Oh boy, that ball's drilled. This is an absolute no-doubter. Parker Meadows, with that sound, just became a garage band by himself here in Seattle.
After not getting that run in the 7th inning, to come back and get that 2-out home run from Parker Meadows. Got a good pitch to drive, but kept that really same kind of quick stroke. It was up there with a good plan, too.
3-2. Fly ball hanging up right center field. Does not have enough to it. And drops! And drops in! Nobody caught the ball! Meadows and Perez were in a staring contest, and the game lives with 2 outs in the 9th. Wow.
On 0-2. And that is the ball game.
Justin Turner was hit by a pitch in the bottom of the 9th in his left hand. Manager Scott Service says the initial medical results were looking pretty good.
We had x-rays on that is negative. He does not have a broken hand, but he obviously the contusion pretty sore, and so he'll be day to day. So hopefully we're gonna catch a little luck with that one. You never know. Anytime he gets hit up in that area, it's his left hand. You're always nervous that something is going to be fractured, but hopefully we dodged a bullet there, and we'll see if he's going to be available tomorrow or not.
Seattle and Detroit go at it again tonight, 6:40 on Root Sports Northwest. While Houston beat Texas 4-2, Framber Valdez flirted with a no-hitter until surrendering a 2-run home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. The Astros now trail Seattle by a half game in the division. The White Sox ended their 21-game losing streak with a 5-1 win over Oakland. The Angels and Yankees were rained out, and they're making that up today as a doubleheader. Well, the Seahawks continue adjusting to an entire new offense during training camp in Renton. New offensive coordinator comes to Seattle after leading the UW offense to the College National Championship a season ago. Ryan Grubb says he's looking forward to Saturday's first preseason game to see how well they'll communicate.
I think it's just like any early season. You know, if you had a scrimmage or a preseason game, you're looking for operation, integrity, making sure that we can get in and out of a huddle, operate clearly in tough situations, and just look smooth, feel smooth, and make sure the operation piece is good for the guys.
Grubb says he's very pleased with the leadership shown in the tight end room on keeping the tempo and attitude in good standing.
They were a group that I pointed out in the offensive unit meeting today. We had some lulls in the week at the end of last week, and a couple times I really felt like the tight end group specifically was what lifted us out of that. Just their energy, they're communicating at a really, really high level, and just how you want it to look on film. Effort, finish, and just executing at a really high level, like knowing what they're – if I want to get something in, I talk to Coach Mack. He's like, it's in.
Tight end Noah Fant says he's excited about the potential of Grubb's offense and looks forward to seeing how it will play out.
Honestly, my favorite thing about it is just like everybody being able to get into positions that they're really good at, being able to do the things that they're really good at, use their speed, use their change of direction, use all these things. You can tell that he has really put some thought into where he wants guys to be put at and what positions they'll succeed in. So I think that's been a really cool part of it.
Seattle heads for L.A. Friday to prepare for their first preseason game. That'll be Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. The Wenatchee Applesox secured the West Coast League's North Division's second-half title last night, despite losing at Bend 4-1. Wenatchee's bats were quiet, with their starting pitcher having his longest outing of the season. We get more on last night's game from the voice of the Applesox, Joel Norman.
The Wenatchee Applesox bats were held to just 1 run for the second time in their last 3 games as they fell to the Bend Elks by 4-1 score on Tuesday night at Vince Guenna Stadium. Cam Hoyland tossed a season-high 7 innings, surrendering 3 runs in that time, but the Applesox couldn't get a whole lot going at the plate, collecting only 4 hits. Max Hartman had half of that total, with his second hit driving in Wenatchee's only run in the top of the 5th.
James Castagnola added one of Wenatchee's 4 hits in the game. Listen for Joel's call tonight on Sunny FM. Now, Victoria and Bellingham also lost last night, handing Wenatchee the second-half title. Harbor Cats fell to Corvallis 5-4, which gives the Knights the best overall record in the West Coast League, meaning they'll host the championship game if they get there. Bellingham fell to Springfield 12-9. Edmonton topped Nanaimo 9-2. Yakima Valley edged Kamloops in 10 innings 7-6. Calais got by Port Angeles 5-4. Walla Walla handed Ridgefield a 7-5 loss, while Portland slammed Kelowna 15-0. Now that puts the Pickles in first place in the South second-half standings, a half game in front of the Raptors. Corvallis has a chance to claim the first and second-half titles, being a game and a half back. Here's the latest standings in the WCL North second half, with Wenatchee winning in the 2.5 games left. Nobody can catch them. That's why they win the second-half title, too. The first-round opponent for the weekend is also set. It'll be Victoria. Meanwhile, Edmonton would face Bellingham in that first round. Now, Wenatchee and Victoria will play Game 1 on the road. Game 2 will be Sunday at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium at 6:35, and NCWLIFE channel will be there to broadcast it live. Join myself and Brandon Schmitten with all the play-by-play. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
Hi, everybody. Dan Coons, host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's hard to believe, but tomorrow, Thursday, there's only, 4 days left in the games of the 33rd Olympiad in Paris. I love the Olympics. I actually went to the Olympics back in 1976. Our family went to the Montreal Olympics, and it just did something to me. And ever since then, I've been a huge fan of the Olympics. I hate to see it go away, but I'm really looking forward to tomorrow is weightlifting. That's obviously, when you look at me, I'm really into the bodybuilding and the pumping and the iron stuff, so I can't wait for weightlifting. my favorite Olympic event. Anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. What we will be doing tomorrow, I don't know. I have 23 hours to plan it. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.